Geeks with beards, geeks with beards. Look who's here, geeks with beards. No need to fear, we're right here. We got beards, so listen clear. Geeks with beards, geeks with beards. Look who's here, geeks with beards. No need to fear, we're right here. I'm in your ear, so listen clear. No one else doing it like us. Also, we just might cuss, just cause. No, we ain't playing, and we're just saying, and we're making a podcast. It's cool. Hello, everybody. This is episode 6 of the Geeks with Beards podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Dan. The other host, Sean.
So, what have you been reading, watching, and all that?
Since the last episode, I've only got 3 comics that I've read last time. I've got the newest issue of Gotcha Man, written by Cullen Bunn, who we talked about last episode. Thundercats Chitara, number 2. Really good book. It's, again, like I said, it's like a prequel comic to the whole Thundercats coming to Third Earth stuff. I read Scarlet number 3, I believe it was, part of the whole Energon universe.
Okay, so it's a Transformer comic?
Yes, the one that's kind of connecting Transformers and G.I. Joe, Skybound Joe.
Okay.
Out of those 3, I think I like the Chitara the best. It's really good. The Dynamite Comics is really doing good with the whole Thundercats thing. And the last regular issue of Thundercats I read, number 6, you find out they've changed the mythology a little bit. You find out that Third Earth has been a penal colony for Thundera, where they originally came from. Where I don't think that was the thing in the 80s cartoon. I don't believe that. I think it was just Third Earth. They just happened to land on it because their planet got destroyed. And now in this iteration, they're like, oh no, it used to be a penal colony. Used to send all the prisoners and the mutants and stuff here. And they're like, oh, damn, we didn't know that. It's like, okay. So I'm curious to see where Dynamite takes that. This is my first Dynamite comic I've read is the Thundercat stuff. And I like what they're doing. I don't know what other stuff they've done. You might know, but I don't. But I like what they're doing with the Thundercats comic right now.
I started reading the Uncanny X-Men. It's really good.
Oh, that's the new one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, that's just X-Men, not Uncanny. Sorry.
Okay.
So, essentially, it was after the Krakoa War thing.
Yeah.
Scott takes his team, and they start rebuilding their team in an old Sentinel factory in Alaska.
Oh, that's going to be cool.
It is cool. It kind of reminds me of Grant Morrison's run, like the team.
Okay, now you said they're doing like they did a few years ago. They're breaking to having like 3 different teams.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is Logan leading a team, or is he just a member of one of the teams?
Well, I've not gotten to the other teams. In this one, he was sent to find some new mutants. Okay. He gets caught, and they're basically torturing him. At the end, he gets into it with Scott, and he's like, I'm out of here. So he just walks off into the woods.
Fuck you, Scott.
It was Scott, Beast, Quentin Quire, Zorn, Magneto, Psylocke, and at that point, Wolverine.
That's a good roster for that team.
It is.
It's cool to still hear that Quentin is still involved in comics. I hadn't read it. It's probably been almost 10 years since I've read an X-Men comic, and a lot of them you let me borrow, and I remember him being in there. When he, Kid Omega? Is that what he used to go by? Okay, yeah. Kid Omega, yeah.
And at one point, he was a bad guy, because every X-Men's a bad guy.
Yeah, and then Zorn, I remember the whole Zorn thing, so it's cool to see that character's still in the comic books, too.
Yeah, he's their healer in this team.
Oh, okay. Well, it sounds really good, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Today, we'll be covering Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, number 1 from 1984. This was Sean's pick for this episode. So, Sean, what's your history with this?
Well, I go way back with Turtles, obviously from the cartoon and all that stuff, the movie and everything. I picked this up. I honestly don't remember where I picked my reprint up, but I've went through and picked up like every version I can of it. So
yeah, you guys in front of us here, you've got a huge collector volume here. We've got a reprint in color that IDW done, and you also got a 4th edition reprint from the 80s, original reprint from the 80s.
Yes.
Heck yeah, man.
I have no idea where I got that.
Dude, I love the original, that 4th print reissue cover. I like it. It looks nice. As far as I go with Turtles, gosh, let's see, what was it? The comic was 84. I definitely wasn't reading it at that time. I was only 4 years old then. Then the cartoon you said was late 87, early 88, I believe.
Yeah, late 87 was the initial 5-episode run of it.
All right, that I do remember. I remember that. I remember watching the cartoon. I remember collecting some of the toys, which I'm rebuying some of the toys now because they're reissuing them. But this was more of my younger brother's thing. He was more of the turtle guy. it was 1987, so there were still Transformers and G.I. Joe and stuff still around, so I was still collecting a little bit of that stuff. Turtles was more him. I got into it a little bit, but not much. I didn't get into Turtles heavy probably until the live-action movie came out in 1990.
Okay.
I think that grabbed me more than the cartoon did. I like the live-action film, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but yeah, that's what got me. So, yeah, definitely not as heavy into it as you are, but I do enjoy some Ninja Turtles, I have to say.
Finally coming around to the good stuff.
Yeah. Hey, I like that new movie that just came out. What was it, last year? Earlier this year came out?
I'm sorry.
It's not that bad.
It looks rough.
Yeah. All right, man. So if you want to kick us off?
Yeah. Okay, so I got some history before we get into this.
Oh, heck yeah, man.
All right, so this initially started with Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. Mm-hmm. They kind of met each other because Kevin Eastman found a book that Peter Laird did on a bus.
Okay.
It was called Scat Magazine.
Scat Magazine, okay.
He's like, this is cool. Wanted to go audition for him and all this stuff. So they meet up, they get along, they start their own studio, which is basically in their living room. They're just sitting there drawing.
Right.
That's how they started Mirage Studios.
Okay.
So they kind of drew some different things. And then the story that keeps going around is Kevin Eastman would be watching his favorite shows, and Peter Laird just wanted to mess with him, make him laugh. Mm-hmm. And he drew the first Ninja Turtle.
Okay.
All right. It was real scrawny looking.
I think I remember seeing the pictures of that before, yeah.
Okay, yeah. It looks nothing like what we see here. So Eastman wanted to up him one. He drew 4 of them.
Okay.
All right. He called them the Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
Peter Laird was like, that's hilarious. He goes, you know what? Let's put Teenage Mutant in front of it because it just rolls off the tongue better. So that's kind of how they were born. They borrowed some money from his uncle, from Kevin Eastman's uncle, to do the first initial run. 3,000 copies of it.
That's good.
Thinking they wouldn't sell any.
Right.
All right. They sold every single one of them by the end of the month.
That's different for like an independent comic.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
For a self-published independent comic.
Exactly. Selling every one that they made out in a month's time.
Next month they did like 3,000 more copies that sold again.
Okay. Hell yeah.
So yeah, that's why there's so many reprintings so quick.
Because the demand was still out there.
It took right off.
Was there anything in your research about was it difficult for them to get comic shops or newsstands to take their book?
No.
No?
They immediately.
Okay. Because, something like that, you would think, even the 1984 comics are still they're pretty hot, I guess. Somebody comes up and says, hey, we created this. Do you care to, hold it for us or, sell it for us or whatever? So that's cool. Mm-hmm. I'm glad they didn't get any backlash.
No.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed like everybody really enjoyed it. It was so popular by like the 3rd or 4th issue, it was outselling the Avengers comic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, it's something different. It's something fresh. Nobody had seen anything like that before.
Well, it's different, but it's not. Because it's not a parody, but it's like a collection of stuff they liked at the time. That's why there's several names. Like, they were big Frank Miller fans, and they were big Jack Kirby fans.
Okay.
So Frank Miller had the hand. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the foot.
Gotcha. Okay.
You had Stick. You got Splinter.
Okay, yeah, because Daredevil. Yeah, Stick with Daredevil. Okay, got you.
So a lot of this is just tongue-in-cheek, and they just kind of paid homage to all the stuff they liked.
I just wonder at that time how many people picked up on that.
I'd say Marvel fans
probably.
Yeah.
Marvel's like, oh, you son of a...
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, dude, that's awesome, man.
It's cool.
Hell yeah. I mean, I had never read it until you let me borrow it the other day for this episode. I fell in love with just the first issue.
Yeah.
I love it, man. It's great.
Written great. And the way their process was, especially in this first issue, they'd take a page, Kevin would work on it for a little bit, he'd hand it to Peter, he'd work on it for a little bit. They pass it back and forth like the first panel.
Okay.
You wouldn't be able to tell which one started and ended it.
Oh, okay, so they both drawed.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, see, now I'm ignorant on that. I thought one did the drawing and one did the writing.
No, they both draw. They both worked on the story.
Okay, hell yeah.
And that's probably what's so neat about their partnership is they both did.
I need to take a look when I go home. I need to take a look at my Ronin stuff and take some pictures of this online and just look and see if I could tell where Eastman's is and where Laird's is. Like it. So, because just looking at it right now, I don't know who's who. If one of them did a couple of turtles and the other one did a couple of turtles, I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, they look like one guy drew it. Mm-hmm. So I would not be able to tell the difference between it, which is what they wanted, I guess, not to be able to tell. So
yeah,
looks great to me.
They wanted it to blend really well.
Hell yeah.
Last thing, this was intended just to be a one-shot.
Oh, okay. Well, now it is like, what, 40-something pages long?
It's 40 pages.
Okay, so I get that. That makes sense. I mean, because back in the day, I don't know about, because nowadays they're like 32 pages, I think, is the average comic book. I don't know about in the 80s, but yeah, that makes sense if that was what they were wanting to do, yeah.
Yeah.
40-something pages. But it goes by, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a slog to read.
No,
it's I mean, there's good, I mean, it's the 80s book. You see the dialogue in here. Mm-hmm. But it's just, it's easy to read. It's exciting to read.
It is.
Each page, you're wanting to hurry up and turn and see what's happening in the next page of the comic book.
All right, I guess we'll begin.
Sure.
So we start out with Leonardo giving a monologue. They're being chased down by the Purple Dragons, which is another gang in New York.
Oh, they're separate from the Foot Clan, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're like a local gang, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Basically. They continue the Purple Dragons in other volumes and books and stuff. They're in the corner. Leo's kind of introducing all of them.
As a leader should.
Well, a daddy's boy.
You hush.
But the artwork, like we talked about, is just phenomenal.
God, I love this artwork, man.
Yeah. We turn the page, we get a big 2-page splash.
God, yeah. Look at this splash page, man. It's amazing.
And we should mention this the original comic was black and white.
Yeah, and like we talked before we started recording, I prefer the black and white. Maybe it's just because I'm new to it. But I'm also looking at the recolor of it here in color. It's nice too, but I don't know. There's something about that black and white grabs me. I don't know.
In general, I prefer the color comics.
Yeah.
So.
No, I get it. Yeah, but yeah, this 2-page splash is amazing.
Yeah.
And I guess it's Leo's talking. He's basically telling the Purple Dragon Gang, he's like, we ain't wearing costumes.
Yeah.
We are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Because they accuse him of wearing costumes. Yeah. That's funny. Turn the page and they're fighting it out. Which I didn't realize they had guns firing at the turtles at one point.
Yeah, we got like double-barrel shotguns and pistols going.
Yeah, tons of action going.
Damn cheating gang members.
yeah, right. They just don't care.
They don't care.
So you got all the different members fighting. Raphael kicking ass, because that's what Raphael does.
Dude, he's straight up like shish kebabbing these guys on his size, I believe, too.
He really is, yeah. It's a very violent comic.
And I mean, I'm not, I understand when the cartoon stuff came out, they definitely had to kidify it. I get that. And I guess the comics kind of toned down themselves as well, you told me, as the years went on. But for me, and maybe that's why a lot of people love the 90s, the original first 90s live action movie, I like the Turtles like this.
Yeah.
I like them using their weapons and being mature content. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
I get being a kid's property, or they turned into a kid's property, but let's do both. Let's have a kid's property version of the Ninja Turtles, and let's have a more mature, adult, I guess, like for a better word, version of the Turtles as well. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, granted, the popularity, I'm sure, is on the kids' backs with the toys and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
For me, if I was coming into Ninja Turtles, truthfully, I think I would only be interested in this earlier stuff. I mean, that's just me. Not hating on the younger kids' stuff. That's fine.
No,
because, I mean, hell, I buy toys. We both collect toys, so there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, as far as a comic book goes, I love the gritty.
Yes.
I love the gritty. It's amazing for me.
It works really well for them.
It does. Just everything came together for those guys in 1984 with this comic book, man.
It was magic. So we continue. They're still kicking ass. I mean, you basically see every turtle kicking some gang member's ass.
Yeah, it's cool. They give them each a panel, showing them kicking their butts, man.
Exactly. And you see some of the members starting to crowd each other. That one looks like it might be Bebop.
I was wondering if that was because it's got the mohawk.
Yeah.
I was curious about that.
That might be something they just added to later.
Because now, those characters, were they just created for the cartoon? Because they weren't in the comics before, were they?
I don't recall on that one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm throwing 100 questions at you
here, man. You're good.
Because I don't know a lot about it myself.
There is a lot of characters introduced before the cartoon, like Baxter and Casey and April. And
right, yeah.
Like, April's based on Kevin Eastman's girlfriend.
Okay.
That's why she looks a little bit different in the comics than she does in the show.
Hell yeah.
Pretty much they mop the floor with the gang.
Yeah.
The police start to show up and the Turtles are like, we got to get out of here.
Yeah, we got to go, man.
Even though we're the good guys and we get along and all this stuff, we need to hide our identity.
I was going to say, because now they still have never been seen by...
Correct. This is their first fight.
This is their first fight. That's right.
Yeah.
It is. Leo got some blood on him blades, man.
He does.
I think They took these boys to town with some cutting. There's some blood on Leo's blades.
I mean, you see some blood right next to the gang members' knives. I was getting ready to say,
you don't see any bodies. They didn't go that far to show you any content, but you got to see some blood, though.
Yeah, because at this point, I think they were still rating comics.
Yeah, whatever it was called, I forgot now. The Comics Code Authority or something like that, I believe.
Yes, the turtles are going down the sewers, the iconic scene.
Yes, exactly.
And then the next page, you see a full page of just the city.
That's nice. I like it.
They almost didn't put that in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Originally, he thought they had to cut, save money on paper and all this stuff. Yeah. He's like, well, this doesn't really do anything for it.
Well, it kind of does. I mean, it kind of gives you an idea of the environment. Well, I guess they're in New York City by the first page probably. But I mean, this gives you a look at the environment, the way the city looks, or the way they interpret New York City looking.
It sets the mood.
It does set the mood for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I'm glad they didn't take it out. It looks really nice.
And Peter said the same thing. He's like, I don't know what I was thinking.
Whoever did the buildings, probably both of them, like you said, did the art. So whoever did the buildings, they look great.
This might be the only page from my research that just Kevin worked on.
Oh, okay. If it is just him, he did really good on the buildings. They look nice.
I love Kevin Eastman's art. He does, separate note. But all the IDW stuff I pick up, if there's an Eastman cover, I pick that one.
Dude, I'm doing the same thing with the Ronin 2 right now.
Yeah.
As soon as Atomic Empire sends me a notification for cover selections, I'm getting the Kevin Eastman covers. I'm sorry. Even though he doesn't do the interiors, and one of these days I'll figure out the name. I can't remember the name for the interior artist, but yeah, it's always Eastman covers.
Yeah, it's amazing.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Yeah. Done. All right, so we're going down to the sewer. You see the turtles meeting up with Splinter.
Splinter.
Yes, the introduction to Splinter. So he's basically like, good job. At this point, he's starting to tell them why they're doing what they're doing. He goes back to a flashback of him with his master, Hamato Yoshi. Mm-hmm. And if anybody's familiar with the movie, this is kind of almost spot on to the movie.
Yeah, see, I didn't know this, Again, the basically the first movie from 1990 basically adapts this first issue, if you want to call it that.
Yes.
Except for they go ahead and throw in April and Casey.
Yeah.
In there, and basically, I mean, this is almost beat for beat.
It really is.
The movie is almost a beat for beat adaptation of this comic book, right? We're looking at right now.
Correct. All right, so you see Hamato Yoshi working out his ninjutsu exercises.
Yeah, and Splinter's in his cage doing the same thing, just like in the movie. He's mimicking his master's moves.
Yes.
That's cute. I like seeing the Splinter doing the little mimicking going on there.
It's great. He starts talking about the Foot Clan and their history. There was another member, Hiroko Nagi, which is different from the movie because in the cartoons and everything else, because we know the main member as Hiroko Saki.
Yeah, this name, I didn't know who this was until I was reading on. This is actually Saki's older brother.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Sub-Zero situation.
So they just, I guess I understand for pacing, or they might have knocked it out of the live action movies and cartoons. They're like, well, it don't really matter. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it'd been cool to have left that in, but maybe somewhere down the line they have put it back into the history. I don't know. But
nothing I've come across yet.
It's unfortunate, but I mean, it's a good thing to learn that in the comic book he actually had a brother.
Yeah.
They basically, what the brother does in the comic is what they just gave it to Saki instead in the movie. Correct. And stuff like that. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So Splinter's talking about him, and he's like, well, Splinter's master, Hamato Yoshi, and Hiroko Nagi both fell in love with the same girl. Mm-hmm. And that's where the drama starts.
Tang Shin.
Which
beautiful. And they draw humans really good, too.
They really do.
Their humans look really nice.
Especially for I hate to say this, but for 80s comics, it seems like it really stands out. Like, you can tell detail better and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's not your traditional Marvel DC females where, well, was it 90s when they kind of got real busty looking? Well, it was in the 80s, too, I guess, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd say.
DC and Marvel kind of made their females real supermodels. And I'm not saying these are ugly humans, but these are more natural looking humans. You know what I'm saying? Not like unrealistic versions of human beings. But yeah, they look great though, yeah.
They do.
I love the shadow work. Again, both of them, I guess.
Yeah.
The shadow work they put into these comics is great.
Basically, after we find out that they're in love with the same girl, Okay, so Nagi starts beating Shin.
Yeah, he beats on the woman. Yeah.
Yeah, which that's so.
Dude, when I flipped this page and I seen that, I'm like, what the hell, Sean?
Yeah.
I was like, I did not expect this.
To be fair, I believe the first Action Comics had a wife beating scene.
Okay.
Like back,
Yeah, okay.
That was pretty common up until like the 90s when we started getting better about that stuff.
Yeah, until they started refrigerating girlfriends. Like in Green Lantern.
We'll get to that one day.
But no, I didn't expect that.
That's
wild, man.
Yeah, so Hamato Yoshi sees that and he's like, oh no.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you love a woman. You beat her to death. Okay.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah. Hamato Yoshi sees that and he basically kills Hiroko Nagi over it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is like Japanese correct, but in this situation, if you kill a member of your same clan, it's dishonoring the clan.
Yeah. And honor is a big thing in Japanese tradition. That much I know. Yeah.
So he's like, well, I got two options. I can either off myself or I can just choose to run to America.
Leave the country, yeah.
So I'm going to take my pet rat, my girl, we're going to New York.
Yeah, because luckily when Hamato Yoshi showed up, it kind of took Nagi's attention away from Shin, so he didn't kill her, but he did unfortunately beat her up pretty bad, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I first flipped this over, I was like, oh, God, he killed her. I was like, no, wait, no, he didn't kill her, but he did unfortunately get a few beatings on her, though.
Yeah, he did, to the point his hands were bleeding.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, he got blood dripping off his fist, yeah.
She's got bruises all over him and stuff. It's pretty rough.
It is.
For a Ninja Turtles comic.
I agree.
All right, so we cut to the next panel. It's the funeral for Oroku Nagi. Basically, Oroku Saki is going through the paces. He's moving up the Foot Clan, getting his belts and his stature.
Now, was Nagi... He wasn't the leader of the Foot Clan. He was just a member, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
He was a high member.
Gotcha, okay.
And so Saki is kind of taking his place.
He's building his... Yeah, like you said, he's working his way up the ladder to... Yeah, got you.
Exactly. And so he's like, you know what? They appoint him to the American branch of the Foot Clan.
Oh, okay.
Which is also in New York. He's like, you know what? I'm going to take my revenge out. In the back of his mind, he's like, I'm going to find Hamato Yoshi and Shin and just bring back honor to my family.
Now, it doesn't say in here how he found out, but somehow they know that Hamato Yoshi went to New York City.
Yeah.
Because I would have just assumed he went somewhere in America, but somehow they automatically know, yeah, Hamato's in New York City, and Saki's like, well, finally, I'm going to be the head of the clan there so I can get my revenge after I build them up or whatever.
Exactly,
so, yeah.
The only way we know Saki knows is that he has this panel where he's talking about avenging his brother's death, and it shows Saki and Shin hugging each other in the background.
Yeah.
Kind of like a thought.
Well, more than likely, since there was already a branch in New York City, there's probably branches all over the United States at that time. Probably in each state or city. So they might have already had them looking for Hamato Yoshi.
That could be it.
Like, hey, when you see him, let us know so we'll come after him. Or maybe the clan didn't, but Saki probably did. He probably said, hey, if you see him, let me know so I can come after him or whatever.
Exactly.
More than likely.
Yeah, that'd make the most sense. As we get to the next page, Saki kind of brings in the darker side of the Foot. He, invokes assassinations and drugs and all the sketchy stuff in 80s New York that you'd think of.
I guess if they weren't already, he kind of Americanized, in quotations, I guess. He Americanized the Foot Clan with the drug smuggling and arms dealing and everything.
At this point, it's been 15 years since that happened.
Mm-hmm.
He's managed to track down Hamato Yoshi.
Yeah.
So he takes out Shin.
And he's actually, you see in the silhouette here, at this moment, he is the Shredder.
Yes.
He's already got the outfit on by then.
Yes. It'd be cool if they go back and do an issue explaining how he became the Shredder.
Yeah, because the regular outfits that it shows in the previous panel, the Foot Clan is just kind of a black or dark gray ninja type outfit.
Yeah.
And which is the Foot Clan mostly has that anyway, even when Shredder's leading them. But yeah, his is definitely a unique costume for sure. I guess for his leadership, I guess.
That makes sense.
But still, all those blades and stuff like that, that's crazy though, man.
It probably goes into the intimidation factor of it.
Yeah. And it's sad in a way because, unfortunately, he does kill Shin first, and then Hamato Yoshi shows up, and he doesn't even recognize him.
No.
Because of the costume.
Yeah.
I guess. Well, 15 years, too.
15 years, you probably wasn't expecting it.
And, he basically looks at him, he's like, who are you? And he tells him, he's like, I'm Oroku Saki. And then, boom, you just see, like, a panel where his hand just slices across, and you see blood trailing behind it.
Yep.
So, Saki got his revenge. It took him, what? We'll see. It was 15 years from now when Splinter's telling the story. So, it was probably... It could have been another 10 or 15 years later for that, too, yeah. So we got some death going on in these first few pages.
We do.
A lot of death, unfortunately.
And Splinter's still explaining this in the flashback. So he's like, I got knocked out of my cage. Master was dead. Basically, he's trying to escape.
Yeah.
You cut next to the TCRI bottle getting knocked into some dude's head.
It is almost a replay of Daredevil.
It is.
A semi truck getting ready to run over somebody, and the canister falls out.
Yeah.
It almost is like Daredevil.
It is. The TCRI bottle's going all around. It smashes into a bowl of turtles. They all end up in the sewer.
That's some level of coincidence right there, because the boy's holding his bowl of baby turtles. And he just happens to come across a manhole that's open, which granted it has the safety cone around the top, but it's open, and then the canister just happens to bounce over the cone, smashes the bowl, and then they all just happen to fall down the manhole, the open manhole. Like there's some universal coincidences going on there.
No doubt.
There's some fate going on there.
That is major fate right there. You cut to Splinter's already in the sewer, and he's picking up the turtles like, I need some friends. Well, I guess he actually followed them down is what actually happened.
Yeah, it says he followed them down the storm drain, and not knowing exactly why, he's like, I just got you. I just gathered y'all up in a what was it? A paint can or coffee can. I'm sorry.
Coffee can, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I just grabbed y'all up and put you in a coffee can.
Like, I'll take you back to my place. Everything will be good.
I have some pets.
Yeah. And the next morning, they started growing. They doubled in size.
That's crazy, man. That mutagen works fast.
It does. At one point, Splinter could ride them.
Yeah,
I mean, it's how big they got.
They are steed size for sure.
And apparently, the mutagen also makes them intelligent, like faster as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it shows him he's amazed at how smart they are, and then one starts saying Splinter's name. Splinter.
And then they start walking.
They start walking.
I love the design of how Eastman and Laird created the guys. They still gave them their little turtle tails.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people might make fun of that, but I think it's cool. Just to give them that little turtle tail, you know what I'm saying?
Well, they're supposed to have it on the action figures in the cartoon as well. But they decided that it kind of looked kind of
odd, for kids or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I get that.
They might think it was a penis.
I get that, but still, it's cool because that shows that they were actually real turtles that got mutated. They weren't aliens like Michael Bay wanted to make them. That they actually were real turtles that just grew into humanoid turtles.
Right.
So I like the tail. I think it's cool looking.
Yeah, it definitely fits the comics.
Yeah, I like it. Now the turtles get their names.
Yeah,
this is cool.
So he's explained how he named them and came up with the Renaissance paintings.
Yeah, he comes across I think it's a book, right? Some kind of book a book about Renaissance art.
Yes. That
he fished out of the storm drain. There's a lot of good stuff going down these storm drains in New York City.
Right. I mean, everything you need is in the sewer.
Books and mutagen and turtles, all kinds of stuff.
I will say they originally intended for the guys to have Japanese names.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So the reason they didn't do that is because they thought the American audience wouldn't, actually the real reason they didn't do it is because they couldn't come up with good enough original Japanese names they thought.
Well, and probably at this time too, a lot of people wouldn't be able to either pronounce it probably or whatever. So
that was Eastman's reason, but Laird's like, no, we just couldn't think of good names. Even though we came up with the Hiroko Saki and Hamato Yoshi and.
I mean, I like the idea of the Renaissance names. Mm-hmm. I think they're cool.
And I think that we're going to go with a couple different variations of the Renaissance painters, too.
Okay.
Which may come into play in other comics. All right, so Splinter's basically saying, hey, I taught the guys what I know from what I learned from my master.
Yeah, he basically taught him what he learned from Hamato Yoshi.
And basically, here's your mission now. You got to go kill the Shredder because he fucked up my master.
So, did Splinter have this plan in the back of his head from the moment these turtles started mutating?
Yes.
You son of a gun.
He's like, well, I guess that's how it works in this particular clan.
I've got weapons now. I mean, I know he loves the boys. They are his children, basically. I know he loves the boys, but it's like, he's like, yeah, now you're old enough.
Yeah.
You gonna go kill the guy that killed my master.
You're 13. It's time to assassinate.
It's time to assassinate. You done defeated like 15 Purple Dragon members. Yeah. You're good to go.
Yeah, one fight, you're good.
You're good.
So he's like, I'm going to send a message. And who do I send? Raphael. Because he's the man.
I mean, Raphael's good for something. Messenger Boy's fine. I mean,
Now.
This is a little something between me and Sean. We've always aggravated each other.
Oh, absolutely.
I like Raph. Yeah, Raph's a cool character.
Raph's awesome.
I like him, yeah.
So you see Raph on his journey to Foot Clan's headquarters.
Yeah, kind of a Batman-esque gargoyle perch here on top of the building.
That's an awesome pose.
Dude, that's great. Yeah, I love those kind of hero poses, if you want to call them,
I guess that would be their Jack Kirby influence on that one.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
Because they both were obsessed with Jack Kirby.
Hell yeah. Would have been cool, too. And you see Raph jumping from the ledge to another building, I guess. It'd be cool. Well, no, it wouldn't have happened yet. This was 2 years before. Never mind. I was thinking about Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. This was 2 years before the famous lightning leap scene. So I'm like, never mind.
Well, maybe he had a Daredevil scene like that.
I'm talking out my butt. Yeah, now that would be probably a Daredevil thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was leaping from buildings and stuff. Yeah, okay.
And they were obsessed with Frank Miller as well.
Yeah.
So.
Gosh, man, this artwork just keeps blowing my mind, man.
It's amazing for the time.
Just love the shadow and everything.
Raphael's infiltrating the headquarters, kind of sneaking past some people, kind of taking out some people.
Oh, yeah, he definitely taking them out. That's his message.
Yeah. And you see some dude with the sword come to chase him, and he goes, ninja, and then...
Raph looks at him, he's like, turtle!
Yeah, that's a great line. They fight. He basically takes him out.
Yeah, I like this line from Raphael. He's like, we connect in midair. When we land, I'm standing. He isn't.
That tells you everything you need to know about Raphael.
Exactly. And then now he's delivering his message. I thought, when I was first reading this, I thought that was his message. Leaving dead bodies for Saki to find. No, that was just him getting to the mission. That was just a little knock on the door.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I'm here.
I'm here, bitch.
So he takes his sigh. He puts the message on his sigh. He throws a sigh into the window. And you see Shredder. It bounces through the window, and there's a bunch of guys who Shredder was talking to.
Yeah, it's like a business deal he's getting ready to try to bring down or whatever, like some kind of protection racket or whatever, I think.
Which makes sense, because he's dirty.
Yeah. I mean, you're into drugs, you're into gun running, why not do the protection racket, too?
Shredder opens up the letter, and it basically says, hey, you killed my father, prepare to die.
Yeah. And then, see, now Raph threw his sign into the building, it sticks in the wall. Now in the live action movie, he was mad about losing his sigh. This one, he just throws it away.
Well, I'm sure Splinter's got extra size in this one.
Damn!
Yeah, that is right.
And Shredder basically, he's reading the note, and he's basically like, yeah, he's like, there will be a duel, and there will be death. Their death. Yeah. So he doesn't even know what's going on.
And he's like, who sent this?
Yeah, who sent this? But he's confident that he's not going to fail. He's confident in himself. He's like, nah, I ain't got nothing to worry about. I'm going to take these fools out. I ain't even sweating them. And he doesn't even know they're turtles yet, does he?
No.
He just think it's just something that somebody who's connected to Hamato Yoshi, is sending the threat like that.
We cut to the next night. The turtles all gathered together. They're going up to the rooftop. They're like, Shredder, we're here.
Yeah.
Face us now. And Shredder's like, who are these fools? Which is cool to see him perched up, too.
He's perched up doing the whole kind of Batman gargoyle thing, too, yeah. And then he decides to jump from his ledge and confront the turtles. And he's basically, I guess he's talking to himself, isn't he, the way the bubbles look.
Yeah, he's like, I don't understand why this keeps happening.
Yeah, he's like, I killed Yoshi 15 years ago.
Yeah.
He's like, no matter. He's like, my men are in place. So this, of course, Shredder's not going to come one on 4, but he's not gonna come alone. He's got the
he shouldn't come alone 1 on 4.
Hey, he's supposed to be a badass leader of the Foot Clan. Come on. So yeah, he brings like 6 or 8 Foot Clan members with him, so
it's cool they got all kinds of different weapons too.
They do. Yeah, that is cool. Now in the comic book they were human, right? They weren't robots like in the cartoon.
Correct.
That was just done because you can't kill humans in cartoons at that time.
Well, even in the movie they were human, so it was just
That's right. Yeah. They were like the down and out youths.
Yeah, yeah.
He recruited the down and out youths and stuff that ran away from home and stuff in the movie.
Cut to this 2-panel page of the turtles fighting the foot. Yeah.
God, this artwork's so awesome.
It's great.
Now, is this one here in the front? Now, I'm looking at the colored version. The one here in the front, Foot Soldier, is this just the coloring, or is maybe he a higher up one? Because he looks like he's got a red outfit on.
I think it's the coloring, just kind of show
like the lighting maybe behind him somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, because it's taking place at night, so
okay,
that'd probably be like some of the colors from the roof lights.
Like a neon sign or something maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's cool too is one of these Foot Soldiers here has actually got a weapon that they would end up putting with some of the turtle toys.
Yes.
That kind of triangle blade weapon, whatever. I'm like, hell yeah, dude.
That's pretty sick.
I love the weapons, man. God, this artwork.
Well, even that weapon too.
Yeah, it's like oh yeah. I'm Japanese heritage, but I don't know these weapons. It's got like a straight blade and like a hook blade at the bottom of it on a chain.
On a chain, yeah. And that came with some of the figures as well.
I can't keep gushing over this artwork, man. This artwork's great.
It's great.
So yeah, they start fighting the Foot Clan, and Shredder's just like, nah. He's just kind of waiting in the background for them. Basically, he's throwing his cannon fodder out there first.
Yes.
To see what the turtle. I think he's doing that to see what the turtles are made of. To see their techniques, to see what kind of ninjutsu they know, how much they know.
Yeah.
I think that's why he's doing that, really.
And these are Shredder's best men, you come to find out.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So after they taken him out, he's like,
good men, my best, yeah. Which now they did cut the turtles up. You can see in the panel, they've got slice marks and cut marks.
Yeah.
So the turtles did not go unscathed. But the Foot got the worst of it, though.
Yeah, they did.
They got the worst of it.
Shredder's like, yeah, they left their mark too.
Yeah, you can kind of see he's got that little side eye. He's like, yeah. He's like, I might be able to take these boys out. They're cut up a little bit.
He's like, all right, well, the students face the students. Now it's time for you to face the teacher.
Yeah, a master.
Yeah, and Raphael, of course, is first.
Of course, Raph's going to go first.
Shredder strikes him out.
He does, yeah.
He's like, you're too slow.
And then Donnie comes after him. He's like, you left yourself wide open.
Mm-hmm. And he tosses him aside.
Yeah, basically, he kind of like cannonballs at him.
Yeah.
He knocks Shredder back a little bit, looks like, but then Shredder just tosses him. He's just like, go away.
Yeah, and he does that to all four of them.
Yeah. And then Leo shows up, the leader.
And he gets kind of tossed aside, too. He does leave some marks on him.
Dude, he gets 2 good katana blows right on Shredder's chest right there, for sure.
But it's not enough.
No, it's not enough.
He needs everybody. So all of them start tossing like ninja stars and...
They're some kind of little bladed weapons they're throwing out, too. Which Shredder's just deflecting a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, it helps with all that armor he's got on.
Yeah. And then Raphael's like, dodge this. He throws both his sides at him, which he does dodge, but is that Raph? I get to see. This is why it's hard for me to tell because they're different, same colors.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing Raph throws his sides at him. Shredder dodges, and then I guess that's Raph Steel kicks him in the gut.
It is, because he ain't got his weapons.
That's right. Okay. Kicks him in the gut. Okay.
Yeah. So Raph gets a strike in there.
Yeah, Raph's giving him some good hits right there, for sure.
It's a cool fight scene, too.
It is, yeah. And then Donnie comes up behind him and strikes him like right in the square of the back with his bow staff, knocking his mask off with his bow staff. So that's reminiscent of, the movie did that, I think. Yeah, they did. No, Shredder took the mask off.
Oh, yeah.
After he seen Splinter, because in the movie, Splinter scratched him, left a scar. So, okay, they interpreted it a little different than that.
A little different.
But, yeah, I like this version better, that the turtles actually take it off of him.
Yes.
And Splinter's not involved in this fight.
No.
Like he was in the movie.
Basically, Splinter just trained him and was like, hey, go fight my battle for me.
Go kill him.
Yeah. So you see Leo coming up after Shredder's all bloodied and everything. He stabs him.
Oh, he skewers Shredder.
Yeah.
Shredder comes after him with one of his blade gauntlets. Leo blocks him with his left katana and takes his right katana and goes right through him. Like, I don't know if it's gut, chest, whatever. He goes right through him.
Shish kebab style.
Dude, yeah. Goes right through him. Pulls that blade out and he tells Shredder basically like, dude, you're beat.
Yeah.
He's like, you're beat. He's like, you've got a couple of options here, man. Either you perform seppuku, which is traditional suicide in Japan, or what was it he said? No, that was the only option, wasn't it? Is that what Leo said? Yeah, he said to redeem your honor, you can use my katana and commit seppuku. So he didn't give him no options. That was basically it, I think.
Yeah, that was it. And he's like, do the right thing, end yourself.
Yeah.
And Shredder's like, well, if I'm going to end myself, I'm taking you guys with me. He pulls out a thermite bomb.
This son of a bitch has got a grenade.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. A thermite grenade. And
the hell did he hide that during the fight?
I mean, I'm sure he's got accessories too. So you see Donnie throw his bow at him.
Oh, dude, right in his jaw, looks like. Big gush of blood comes out of his face.
You see him falling down to the ground. The turtle's perched up on the rooftop.
Yep.
And then boom.
You see the bright light of the explosion coming up from the bottom of the page there. The turtle's just looking down.
Motoyoshi has been avenged.
He has, and I think it was... Yeah, that was Leo, I think, said that. Then Mikey's like, I'm tired, Leo.
Yeah.
And Leo's like, yeah, we all are, Mikey. Let's go home. And then you see them on the ground getting ready to leave, and they look down, and all you see on the ground is Shredder's gauntlet. Scorched gauntlet laying on the ground. And who says this? Leo. I like this. He's like, it seems that the Shredder has been shredded.
Yeah, that's a great line. It cuts to the last page, them saying we're the Ninja Turtles. We strike hard and fade away.
Into the night.
Into the night.
And Leo just tosses the scorched gauntlet of Shredder behind them as they're walking away in the alleyway, and that is how we end this. And that's a great ending to it.
It's perfect.
Because like you said, it was supposed to be just a one-off.
Yeah.
So they get their mission, they defeat their villain, boom, you're done.
Yeah.
That way it's an open ending. That way if they, which they do, of course, but if they hadn't, then it would have been a good ending to it. Like you wouldn't have had any cliffhangers left on there.
Yes.
So, dude, that's amazing. Thank you for letting me borrow this and read this. I'm glad you brought this up for our episode because... God, I fell in love with it.
It was awesome.
I love it, man. That artwork's amazing.
After the first, 3 printings, they're like, well, maybe we should do a second issue.
How long was it before the second issue came out?
I think...
Probably a few months or so?
It was within 6 months. I want to say it was 3.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that, but it was somewhere around that.
Okay, hell yeah.
And that went on from 84 till 91. It was 62 issues.
Okay. Of just Eastman and Laird doing it? Or...
Well, they didn't stay the whole time because it was getting so popular so fast.
They needed help and stuff.
Well, they had to start taking... It was a business at that point.
Okay, so yeah, they had to build the business. Okay.
They were running the business.
Right.
Yeah. And basically, within 2 years, they're like... The people came for licensing. They're like, we want to make toys.
Yeah, you got Playmates making the toys.
And that was their first real toy, of their own. And then they're like, well, you need... cartoon TV series like we've talked about before. They're like, okay. They shopped it around. They're like, we'll do these 5 episodes just to advertise the toys.
Yeah.
That's all it was supposed to be.
Yeah. Which back in the 80s, that's what they do for a lot of properties. They just do mini-series just to see what the viewership was, I think, on that. I believe.
They had no intention to making more episodes.
They only just planned it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this other dude's like, hey, can I get the rights to this? And we keep making a show.
He's like, hey, I'll pay you licensing fees for the cartoon, keep going. And it kept going until what, 10 years, didn't it? Till 97?
Yeah.
96, 97?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy, what, 300 probably episodes, give or take, something like that? It's a lot.
Yeah, because at one point they said they were doing an episode every day for 7 weeks straight.
And it was more than just a Saturday morning thing. It was probably like a 6-day a week cartoon, probably.
It started out 5 days, then went 6 days, then went 7 days.
Oh wow, 7 days. So it was never just a Saturday morning thing. It was wow.
Yeah.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Now I remember watching some of the later episodes. They were a little wacky. Some of the later stuff was when they kind of got rid of Shredder and Krang, and you have, was it Dracon, something like that? He's like a space dragon or something. The cartoon's something I hit and miss. I don't know the cartoon that well. I've only watched a few episodes.
At one point, they were just having people send in ideas for action figures.
Yeah, true. You got like those cavemen turtle figures that they did where they rode dinosaurs and stuff. Yeah.
And you start getting was it Wingnut and...
Oh, God, you have some weird characters. Yeah. Slash and then Bebop Rocksteady, Fugitoid. No, Fugitoid was comics, wasn't he? Was he not in the comics too?
He was, and that was if I remember right, that was an Eastman and Laird separate comic, and then they brought him in.
Okay, now this is something. Usagi Yojimbo. Now he was not. Was he created by them, or was he?
No,
So they licensed him to bring them into the comics?
Yeah, he was like a guest appearance type deal.
For the longest time, I always thought he was a creation of theirs. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that was something that they borrowed.
He's associated with them, and they do crossovers a lot with them.
Yeah. Now, I remember him being in the cartoon once or twice.
Yeah.
So I think every character at least got one episode, like one spotlight episode in the cartoon, I think. You know?
So they can sell that toy.
Yeah, exactly. One of my favorite ones was Mondo Gecko.
Yeah.
I love that character. He was a cool character. Just a skateboarding teenager, you know.
I love the frogs. I wish they would have got
Genghis Frog and stuff like that.
Napoleon Diner Frog.
Napoleon Bona Frog, yeah. Did they? I wonder if they ever made vintage toys of the those teenage kids from Dimension X. I remember that episode.
Oh, they made the vehicle. I don't know if they made the figures.
I remember those characters. That was an episode right there.
Yeah.
Come flying. Every time they come flying, they had their own music, you know, like dun, 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 dun. That surfer music.
They were cool.
But no, yeah, this comic, man, this started it all. 1984. This started the Turtle franchise as we know it now. 40 years later, they're celebrating their 40th anniversary this year.
Yeah.
Still reissuing toys at your local Walmart. They've got new retro reissue toys where they're kind of like the He-Man Origins toys. They look like the old toys, but they've got modern articulation and accessories and stuff like that. So, I mean, Turtles, they're going as strong, if not stronger, than Transformers or He-Man put together, probably.
This is the equivalent of like when Superman came out for like our generation.
Because Playmates has been, granted, NECA has a license, a lot of these other companies do, but Playmates has been the main toy maker of Ninja Turtles since the beginning.
Yep.
Since 87, 88. Mm-hmm. And they've yet to drop the license. They're still doing it. They're still the ones putting the reissues out.
Yeah.
It's basically them and NECA. And I know Super 7 put their own versions out too.
Yeah.
But Playmates is like, that's your main toy company for almost 40 years of Ninja Turtles. It's Playmates. That's crazy.
And they've sold like 300 million of the original.
God. Dude, like right now, like the reissues, if you couldn't get the toys back in when you was a kid and you can't afford to buy them on the secondary market, the reissues are basically exact copies with just maybe slightly different paint jobs on them, maybe. But
that's the thing. Turtles don't run that much because they made so many.
They don't. Playmates is great on their stuff. $10.
The vintage ones.
Oh, well, now, unless you get to that later stuff. Like that cat in the prison uniform and stuff like that. Now, those are like holy grails, I've heard. I don't know. But I guess that might have been because they were short-run toys, maybe because that's toward the end of the toy line.
Yep.
Now, the vintage toy line, it probably ran a little bit longer than the cartoon did, I would assume, probably, didn't it?
That I'm not sure.
I would assume it might have, yeah.
I'd imagine so until they started the next animated.
Until the next cartoon come out, yeah. Yeah, because, for me, like, I've collected the 4 original guys in reissues, and I've picked up Casey Jones, a couple other characters. I'm not a completist with Turtles. I just like the main kind of people.
Yeah.
If I could get them, like a Splinter or something.
So Mirage, the studio they built, still retains the rights to put out 18 issues a year if they want to.
Oh.
So it's weird.
Yeah, that rights thing always got on my nerves. Not on my nerves. Confused my nerves because didn't Laird sell his part off or something?
Well, Eastman gave Laird. All right, let me back up here.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Man.
No, you're good. The volume 1 we talked about was 62 issues.
Yeah.
Okay, that was black and white.
Yeah.
Volume 2 is still Mirage. It was 14 issues full color.
Okay.
Okay, volume 3 goes back to black and white, but it's through Image Comics.
Okay.
Even though Mirage is still around.
Image put it out.
Yeah.
They, what's the word? Produced it, published it. Published, yeah.
Yeah. The second ones ran from 93 to 95. The Image ones ran from 96 to 99. Okay. And then volume 4, which ignores volume 3, was on Mirage from 2001 to 2009.
Okay.
It's still canon, but it doesn't accept the timeline, if that makes sense.
Oh, so they okay. Like an alternate thing.
Well, it's still canon, but the time frame won't match up exactly right.
Okay. Now, the later books like that, now they eventually went along more with the cartoons as far as the artistic style goes and stuff.
Well, no, they still had serious ones, and then they had the Archie comics, which would be the cartoon route.
Oh, like the Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something like that? Is that what that was?
Well, that's a different one. But,
okay.
the Archie comics are like the adventure ones and the
more child-friendly comics
to go with the cartoon.
Go with the cartoon. Okay.
And then you have the Last Ronin. It actually takes place in this universe. The first 3 volumes.
Oh,
it's the future of these guys.
See, I thought it was just an alternate future.
No.
Oh, see, hell yes, that makes me love the Ronin story more now, knowing that. Okay, so so timeline-wise, you say it takes place what now within these first 3 volumes? You said.
Yeah, the first 3 volumes. So pretty much from 84 to 99.
Oh, okay, hell yeah, awesome. I thought it was an alternate future.
I thought that too, and that's why I didn't care for it. But now that I know it ties back to the original run.
Oh my God, yeah. And see, that makes me want to. I mean, I probably won't, but it makes me want to go back and see the evolution of. If you haven't read the first Ronin, which me and Sean both have read the first Ronin, so we can speak about it real quick. But spoilers if you haven't. Michelangelo is the last Ronin in the first book. All the other guys in Splinter have unfortunately been killed, and Mikey takes up the mantle to get revenge on the person that killed him. So I would love to see because in the cartoon he was always, and in the movies he was the young goofy brother. Mm-hmm. In this first issue he ain't. He's just up there, tough as shit as the other 3 guys are, knocking people out and taking names. So I'm curious to see if there's an evolutionary arc of his character in those first 3 volumes.
There is. Like, once they hit the second issue, they started to kind of give them different personalities.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, that would be exactly.
Okay, because when I first read that Ronin, I'm always going off the cartoon, or I'm always going off the live action movie because I never read these comic books before. So my interpretation of Michelangelo was the fun-loving kid eating pizza, playing video games. Yeah. Then you see in Ronin, or Last Ronin, you see this serious, super depressed. Of course he is, but this deep version of Michelangelo that I didn't expect to see in that comic book.
Yep.
And I didn't spoil myself, so I had no idea it was Mikey. Honestly, I thought it was probably Raphael.
Yeah.
Honestly, because he's a more revenge type kind of turtle. But finding out that was Michelangelo, it just blew my mind. And I mean, it's a comic that'll make you cry. I ain't gonna lie, man. It'll make you cry, man. That's for damn sure. Reading The Last Ronin, it's worth a pickup. If anybody out there, if you haven't read The Last Ronin, pick it up. No matter what I just said, like I said, spoilers, but pick it up. It's worth it. You can pick it up in paperback. You can pick it up in hardcover, probably anywhere. So it's great.
It's worth a read.
Oh God, yeah, definitely, for sure.
And then if you guys want more of the IDW run, top notch.
I didn't read any of those, but you've talked highly of the IDW run.
I love those just as much as these originals, to be honest.
I guess you would kind of say, because they ended their first run, so that would be IDW 1, I guess, of the Turtle run, because they've started a new run. They've rebooted the universe, I guess.
It's technically Volume 5, even though it doesn't connect to these. But
because it's still Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, even though it's a different publication company. Right, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. And you were asking about the rights and stuff. So at one point, Kevin Eastman used to own Heavy Metal magazine.
Hell yeah, okay.
And you know the movie's Heavy Metal?
Yeah.
Well, he helped make the second one.
Yeah, okay. I like the first one better, but they're both good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, at one point he bought the company. I'm guessing after Turtles got big, but
hell yeah, okay.
He's like, I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to do my own thing. Here's creative control. You do what you want. So P. Laird, it's like, I want to go back to making comics.
Oh, so now Eastman signed over his creative rights to Laird?
Yeah, he still had the monetary rights and all that kind of stuff.
But, okay, so basically he kind of gave up his say-so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So whatever Laird wanted to do, Eastman couldn't really fight him over it, I guess.
He didn't care.
He didn't care?
Yeah.
As long as he was still making the money.
He was still making the money.
But creatively, he had nothing to do with it. No more drawing, no more input on stories.
Right.
Okay.
And he's like, I'm good, and you do what you want. Okay. And they kind of were drifting apart at that point.
Okay.
So at this point, Peter's like, I'm going back to making comics, and that's when TMNT comics started, and that he started drawing and writing again. And
okay. See, for some odd reason, I thought it was the flip side of it. I
thought so as well. But
I thought it was Laird that gave up his rights to Eastman.
No.
Okay.
He hung on to it for a while. He's like, I guess that's kind of what that TMNT animated movie was kind of.
I like that movie, that CG one, yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
I like that movie. That was a good movie, yeah. I guess it didn't really fall in the universe of the live action comics though, doesn't? Or live action movies. It's its own thing.
Well, it does because they show the scepter in it, and they show.
That's right. Yeah. They got their own. They got their little collection wall. It's got stuff on it.
Place like so many years after all.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because like Leo's doing his training or his meditation or whatever, or something like that. Yeah. And Raph's basically vigilante, riding a motorcycle in a type of Batman outfit.
So he pretty much like had creative control until Nickelodeon picked it up.
Okay.
And bought everything.
And which now Eastman is back involved in the comic books, at least with the last Ronin stuff.
He was back involved in that Volume 5 IDW run.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he helped plan the stories for the entire 5-year run.
I wonder what made him shift back into wanting to get involved again, I wonder.
He probably got done with everything else he was doing.
Bored, maybe. He's like, you know what? Let's go back to the Turtles.
Yeah.
So now both him and Laird, are they still involved?
I just picked up that special 40th anniversary thing. I think that's the first thing they've done together since they split up.
Okay, because I want to say, because I'm picking up the last Ronin 2, the sequel, and I want to say it's just Eastman's name on there. Well, besides the other people working on the comic book, between Eastman and Laird, I think Eastman's the only name I've recognized. I don't think I've seen Laird's name, unless it's just consultant or whatever, give him, the consultant thing maybe.
Yeah.
Because I want to say Eastman's name's the only one I see on there. Yep. Which he just does the artwork for the covers, like I said, which are freaking amazing.
Well, he may help with the story, too.
Yeah, he might be. I need to flip open one of those issues, because they've only done 2. I need to flip open one of the issues and see. He might be a story consultant along with the main writer. Yeah, you're probably right about that.
I'm not sure on the last run, but I know he was for the other stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that he'd kick back in with a IDW with their first run like that.
Yeah, it was him and Tom Waltz, I believe it was. That.
Okay. Hell yeah. That explains why you like it so much, because Eastman's involved in the stories, so. And
they're so well written, especially with the last, up until issue 100, gold.
Was it?
I can only comment on a couple issues after that because I'm so far behind. But hey,
I like the artwork. I like the way they do the turtles.
Yeah,
I know I've seen some people online talk about they're like, well, their heads are kind of small, kind of more rounded. But I've seen some pictures. I like what IDW did with their artwork. And I don't know about now the new run, but with the previous run, I like the artwork.
Yeah,
I thought they looked cool looking to me.
Great. All right, so you wanted to talk about the movie.
Yeah, I thought I might touch on it briefly.
I'll give you some information. Like, when they first started that movie, one of the Hong Kong production people, like, where they make Hong Kong movies over in China.
Yeah.
They're like, we can make this into a movie. Because they got a hold of some of the books and watched the cartoons and stuff.
Right.
Let's just put these guys in the ninja suits and just go at it. One of the writers and producers was like, nah, let's kind of stick to this comic book. It pretty much is a movie.
Yeah, that was definitely the right idea.
Yeah.
For sure.
So basically he's like, I need $2 million to do this movie. And then once they get into the production of it, Jim Henson is a little, more expensive than they thought.
I was going to say, those suits alone had to be a couple $1 million probably.
Yeah, they were starting to run out of money. And the guy's like, I need $6 million more. He told me, he's like, if nothing else, we'll make that back the first night.
Oh, yeah, right.
We may not make any money, but we at least will make our money back.
Right.
And the guy's like, I'll find you the money. That's basically a skimmed down version of the backstory
How it
to
got
it.
started. Yeah, I mean, I love the live. Like I said, that's kind of really got me into Turtles, was watching that first live action movie. And the Jim Henson suits, well, the first 2 movies, the third movie was a different company. But those first 2 movies, the Jim Henson suits and the animatronics, that was probably pretty ahead of its time animatronic stuff for the heads and stuff, wasn't it? I mean, like
the way they designed it.
And I guess the actors hadn't. I know in the third one, again, it's not Jim Henson Studios in the third movie, bless them. But I know in the third one, like, you could actually see the slits, but now in the first 2 movies you can't. So I'm assuming they may be like how he did for like the Sesame Street stuff. Maybe there's like little monitors in there they were looking at, maybe to see how to move around.
No,
they actually were there is slits. Yeah. They just hit them better.
They did, and Jim Henson's. They also could see out the mouth if they opened the mouth.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. There's the thing online. If you pay attention to when I think Donnie's laughing in the first movie, you can see you can see the actor's face in his mouth when he's laughing. That's right. But dude, those suits look amazing.
Well, Jim Henson didn't want to do it at first.
Really?
Yeah, he thought it was too violent. for his type of work.
But hadn't he already done, was he involved with Labyrinth and stuff, I think, too?
Yeah, Labyrinth and Dark Crystal.
Dark Crystal? Well, Dark Crystal was not a happy-go-lucky movie.
It wasn't happy, but they weren't, chopping each other down with swords.
But that is why they didn't let them use their weapons, though.
Yeah.
They did, but they didn't. They didn't use them to fight against people, really. And then in the second movie, they didn't use them, period.
Okay, so
Mikey had to use sausages.
Yeah, and Eastman and Laird weren't really happy with the way the second one came out. A step back is what Peter Laird said.
Well, it was definitely more for the children.
Yeah.
The first one is more for the fans of the comic, because it's darker, with a little bit of language, mostly Raphael. The second one definitely, you could tell, was turning lighthearted, turning more for the kids, because by that time, that was, 91?
Yes.
So the cartoon had already been out when the first movie came out, but there might have been some backlash on it, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, you can definitely tell it was definitely a little bit more kiddie. And then the third one was more lighthearted in the third one. Kind of.
Well, and that was the weird thing. I thought that too, but Peter Laird's like, well, we had to go back to square one, so we tried to make the third one more serious.
Well, I guess it is in a way, yeah.
Like darker.
It is a little bit, because, you have the British, I don't know the names of the characters, unfortunately. You've got the British guy selling the weapons to the Japanese emperor, I believe he's an emperor. And then I think it's Raphael or Michelangelo that kind of starts up the relationship with the little boy.
It was Raphael, wasn't it?
I think it might have been Raphael. Yeah. It was a little bit more, it was a little bit more serious. It has goofy moments, especially when Casey Jones is trying to teach the samurai who switch places with the turtles, to play video games and hockey. It had its goofy moments, but compared to the second one, I agree. It did go back a little bit more serious tone. Not as serious as the first one.
No.
But it did go back a little bit more serious in tone, for sure, yeah.
And that first one set the record for the highest grossing independent movie at the time.
At the time? I believe it. Yeah. I believe it. It's kind of, I would compare it to the year before, 89 Batman, Batmania. 1990, you had Ninja Turtle Mania, probably.
Yeah, it was.
Granted, the toys had already been out for 2 to 3 years. The cartoon had been out for a couple of years. So kids was already latching on to this.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm sure parents took their kids to this and they're like, wait a minute, this is the guy's cussing. But, So, I mean, it was probably like Turtle Mania for those years. And I guess, what was it, 90, 91, and then the third one was probably 92, 93. Mm-hmm. So they were putting them out every year.
Well,
roughly.
Especially the first to the second one, they're like, we need a sequel now.
Did they originally plan to do more than one movie, I wonder?
They won't. Let's see.
Because now the production, or the ones that produced it, was New Line Cinema, right? They're the ones that put it out? Okay.
Yeah, they're the ones the studio that put it out.
And they were still kind of a new studio, because they had started out with Nightmare on Elm Street. They're the studio that Freddy built. That's their story. So they were only 6 years into their life as a movie studio.
Yeah.
So besides Nightmare on Elm Street, this was probably their second big thing that they helped put out there. Probably was Ninja. Even though they didn't own it, it was their second big thing that they were attached to. Yep. Probably
it was their most successful thing at the time.
That's crazy, man. It's crazy.
But to answer your question, I don't think they planned it.
But the popularity of the first one and the money it was bringing in, they're like, yes, keep going.
Well, the guy shopped the movie around, and every single studio turned him down besides New Line. And then after it made the records and all that stuff.
Then people's coming to them.
Exactly. Yep. They're like, congratulations. Hey, can we have the sequel?
Hey, we'll give you this much money to do the second movie.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? No. These guys believed in me. We're sticking with them. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
That was the right call, I think.
Yeah.
Not knocking Warner Brothers or Universal or MGM or whoever.
Disney
but I think New Line was a perfect spot for him, I think. And I love all the movies. I like them in order, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
That's how I like them. Some people like 2 over 1. I like 1, 2, and 3. So, because in the second one, unfortunately, the Shredder's not in it a whole lot. He's in it some, but he's not in it a whole lot.
Super Shredder?
Kevin Nash for like 5 minutes of a movie.
And Tatsu.
Tatsu's cool.
I like him.
Even though he just grunted most of the movie. Tatsu's pretty cool.
Cool. Play.
Yeah. Now, in the first movie, Like there was a scene in there where he gets upset with the foot soldiers, and he almost kills one of those kids, doesn't he? As a foot, I mean, he's beating the crap out of that dude.
Yep.
And they have to stop him. I'm like, damn, did they intend for him to kill that kid? I wonder, and edit it differently because I mean, he's beating that kid to death in that movie.
Child violence.
Whew. But yeah, I love the live action movies, and I've watched some stuff after that. I watched that CG one we talked about.
The CGI one's great.
I like it. It's dark.
The fight between Leo and Raph.
That's a good one. Yeah, Raph's like, oh, you left us. I'm like, shut up. I'm just
He proceeds to beat his ass.
He does whoop him. I give him. That's true. Yeah. I didn't watch the 2003 Fox cartoon, but you said it was a lot closer to the comic book.
Yeah, Peter Laird was actually over that one.
Okay. I never watched that cartoon.
It's really good.
Okay. Yeah. I might need to try to find that and watch a couple episodes of that one. I watched the Nickelodeon one for 2 seasons, maybe 1 or 2 seasons when it first came out.
It was pretty good for those first couple.
I liked it. It was cool. It was cool having the guy who played the original Donatello to come back. Or no, excuse me, played Raphael.
Oh yeah,
originally.
Rob Paulson.
Yeah, Rob Paulson to play Donatello. Because I remember people asked him, why didn't you go? He's like, I did audition for Raph. They didn't want me for Raph. They didn't want me for Raph. They got me for Donatello. But yeah, I watched that one for a couple seasons, and I haven't watched anything. I didn't watch anything else turtle related until the new movie came out last year, I believe it was.
Did you watch the Michael Bay ones?
Oh yeah, I did watch those.
Yeah,
they're okay. I like the second one better. Because you actually got Bebop and Rocksteady, even though... Was it John Cena plays Rocksteady?
We're not going to talk about it.
Yeah. Hey, you got Stephen Amell, Mr. Arrow playing Casey Jones in that one.
Fuck those movies.
Yeah.
Fuck those movies.
Yeah, I don't like them, but I did buy them, though. I guess just
10 feet tall Shrek-looking motherfuckers.
Well, they were supposed to be aliens originally in the storyline, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was... I don't know.
Yeah.
Even though Michael Bay didn't direct it, he produced it. That son of a gun. And I like the Transformers movies he did. I'm a Transformers fan. I mean, I'm not going to lie about that.
Transformers is better than his Turtles.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
I love Transformers, and people's like, well, if you like Transformers, I don't know.
No.
It didn't work out.
It's not the same.
But it's like with you with this new movie. It's not for you, and that's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it. I guess I'm not as connected. It's like with me with Transformers. I'm deeply connected with the Transformers and what I love, and I am picky about certain things. Ninja Turtles is your thing. You have certain things you like and dislike, so I totally understand. It's like the new cartoon that's on Paramount Plus, and I haven't even watched it yet. I don't know if I will because it's 2D animated. It's not CG animated. And it kind of, I don't know.
Looks kind of weird.
Well, I don't know. It's not necessarily this looks weird. To me, it just looks like it's going more kiddie than the movie was, maybe. But I get it because it's lesser money. It's a TV budget, well, streaming budget, whatever. But I might watch it and give it a shot because it's supposed to connect the first movie to the sequel whenever it comes out, supposedly. It's supposed to be kind of a connection thing to it.
Yeah, probably. Like I said, it's like you said. I said it's not for me, but
yeah,
if they want to make stuff, go make stuff.
Yeah, there's plenty of content out there for things we like. You've got these comics you can go back and read. You've got your live action movies you can go back and rewatch.
Yeah,
you've got your cartoons you can go back and rewatch. Same with me with Transformers. I may not like everything that's out there right now. I may hate that new Transformers 1 movie, but I'm gonna go check it out because I'm a Transformers fan. But if I don't like it, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I've got all my other stuff I can go watch and everything else to keep me happy. Let the kids have their stuff, and that's totally fine. That's what it's ultimately. They're ultimately for children. You know, we're man children, but it's ultimately for children. It's toys, it's cartoons. It's basically, if it didn't have kids weren't interested in it, we probably wouldn't have all this stuff still 40 years later.
That's true.
Even with adult collectors like us, we can't keep that stuff going.
Yeah.
It's the children or the kids that keep it going. So
it'd be cool if they do like a separate like Netflix like CGI series just for the adults, you know?
I would love to see another...
like a Spawn type deal?
Yeah. I would definitely love to see another more mature type of Turtles, for sure, for us, the older people. Whether it's Netflix, whether it's another movie, but I want them to go back to these roots.
Yeah.
Involved, which now Eastman and Laird may have been involved in Michael Bay's things just for a paycheck. I hate to say that, but they might have been. I don't know.
I will say this. Eastman was the garbage man in the first movie.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Damn it.
They asked Peter Laird to do it too, but he's like, I don't want to be in it.
Damn, I have to go back and rewatch that. Yeah. I didn't know that.
It's a brief scene. I think it's after Shredder dies.
Okay.
Casey's doing the
Oh, he's pulling down.
Pulling the lever or whatever.
Oops.
Yeah, then you say Kevin's in the background like one of the garbage
That's
people.
cool. Yeah. So it's kind of your Stan Lee cameo before it ever happened. Hell yeah, that's cool. I like it.
Turtles did it first.
Hell yeah. So yeah, guys, that was our coverage of issue 1 of the original 1984 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird.
We liked it.
Oh God, and this is coming from a guy that's never read it before. I loved it. I totally recommend it if you can find the paperbacks or. Okay, go ahead.
Let's talk price here.
Let's talk price. Go ahead.
Okay, so if you wanted, you can easily get a reprint paperback. I've got the collection omnibus.
Yeah. I'd be totally happy buying reprints. I don't give a crap about reprints. That's fine.
They got the color classic reprint, which I actually kind of almost prefer in some.
It does look good. I like it.
But if you want an original copy,
got to sell a lung.
It's pretty close. Like a first edition original copy is going for like, depending on the grade, 15, 20 grand at least. A second edition is going for 25 to 3,000 for a second printing.
That's getting up there with like Action Comics and stuff like that. Yeah, that's crazy.
A third printing is like 800 to 1,500, and then
now yours is a four. You actually have a fourth printing.
I have the fourth
original fourth printing right here.
It's going around for $100.
Okay. Okay.
If you're going to go the original route, reprints is probably going to be more in your budget range.
Definitely for sure.
But even like the second issue and third issues, they're going for big money too.
You're right. That's
like
crazy.
$1,000 an issue.
That's crazy. I mean, that tells you right there the love and the want for this property, for this comic book in particular.
Yeah, it's great. They were low run, like low numbers at first, and then they started pumping more out.
Now the reprints, can you tell any differences in the reprints?
From what I understand, the first ones were a little bit more bigger, like in size.
Almost magazine style, sort of. Maybe like how the Ronin stuff is now. It's a little larger than
I think it was comic. Like the Ronin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a little bit larger. Yeah.
Yeah, so like this would be accurate to the way it was.
Yeah, well, yeah, true. Yeah, that's about how the Ronin is, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Would you like a question?
I would like a question.
And
or a comment, either one.
If somebody wanted to send us a question or a comment, where would they go?
Where would they go?
Yeah.
We've got several different ways they can reach us. They can reach us on our Facebook page. They can reach us on our Instagram or Discord, or they can email us.
They can email us at geekswithbeardspod@gmail.com, just like this lovely person is about to do. This comes from our friend Liz, and she asked, which is your favorite turtle? And she said Michelangelo is her favorite.
I can see that. I can see Michelangelo being Liz's favorite.
Totally.
Yeah. Definitely. Let's see. I'll go first. Mine would be, I've got two. If I had to choose between two, would be either Leonardo or Donatello. Would be the two that I would choose as my favorite. But if I had to pick just one, Leonardo. I like the leaders.
I figured that'd be it.
I like the leaders. I like him more now after reading this.
Yeah.
Because most of my liking was going off the live action movies and a little bit of the cartoon series. After reading this comic, I'm like, hell yes.
He's actually almost badass in this comic.
Those would be my top two guys out of the four. But if I had to choose just one, I'd say Leonardo.
Mine would obviously have to be Raphael.
Yeah.
I just like his attitude and his go-get-emness.
Yeah. He might get him in trouble sometimes, but I mean, he's always going to be there.
He's all heart. He's all passion.
He is. He's definitely the heart of the group, I think.
Yeah.
Of the four guys, he is the heart of the group, I think. Yeah, for sure.
All right. So I have a question.
Okay.
I was talking about how expensive the original comics were.
Yeah.
Is there a comic that you ever would, if you had the money, would ever pay obscene amounts of money for?
Obscene amounts of money for?
A key issue you wish you had.
Of any kind of any comic?
Any
book?
comic, any run.
Oh gosh.
Your holy grail.
I'm trying to think. You're more comic book person than I am. Probably an original copy of Transformers #1 from Marvel.
That'd be cool.
I'd like to have that. They're, again, depending on the quality of them, the grading, they can be very high. I don't know, probably not that high as the Ninja Turtles, but they're pretty expensive though.
Or like $500 to $1,000 or something like that.
Probably. Usually when it comes to prices like that, I don't check eBay. I usually check like mycomicshop.com because I think they're pretty accurate on their prices. but it's up there, I would say. So that'd be for me probably. And honestly, probably maybe the first Batman, the Detective Comics.
That'd be sick.
Probably, yeah. But that and Action Comics, those would be those ones where I'd have to sell every body part I got.
Millions of dollars.
Yeah, but if I had the money, it'd be the Transformers #1, yeah, for sure. Because it's got to be several hundred more than likely, I would say.
Yeah.
I would assume. I wonder which would be more, an Action Comics or Spider-Man.
Action Comics.
Probably
Action holds the record.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, not Spider-Man. Amazing Fantasy 15, I think, was his first appearance, was it not?
Yeah, I think that one, the last time I seen it go for, could be wrong, but I want to say it was the $100,000 range.
Okay.
$200,000 range.
Okay.
Which, I don't know if you knew this, but Eminem's a huge comic book fan.
I knew Sebastian Bach was. I didn't know about Eminem, though.
Eminem's huge. That's why you're hearing all of his songs. But he owns Amazing Fantasy #15. He owns.
That surprised me. Yeah, I figure celebrities, if they're big in the comic books, they're going to try to get those Grail pieces, and they can afford them.
Yeah.
So. But what about you? What would be yours?
Definitely would be this one.
Definitely. Yep.
If I had to pick another one, it'd probably be Action Comics.
Yeah, that would be a good one for sure.
Or.
First X-Men?
Yes. Because that has the first appearance of Magneto.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which I've got reprints and stuff of it, but...
Iceman looked a little lumpy back then, didn't he? He's like a snowman.
He did, and Beast, he wasn't furry at all. And
no, he was just the human guy with the big feet.
Yeah, we may cover that.
That's cool.
At some point.
That's cool. Yeah, that's another one I've never read. I've only just glanced at stuff about it.
It's actually pretty decent for a 63 comic. Like 1963?
1963. I knew it was somewhere in the 60s. I couldn't remember the exact date on that one. Okay, hell yeah. If any of you listeners out there have an answer for that question, what would your Holy Grail comic be you'd want? Send them in to us, and we'll read them off the next episode.
Yeah, send everything to geekswithbeardspod@gmail.com, the Facebook, the Instagram, and our Discord link is in the description, or you can find it on our social media pages.
Yeah, definitely. The Discord's probably where we're the most active at, is our Discord. Well, that and Facebook, probably.
We have fun with them.
We do, yeah. The Discord's really fun, though, yeah, for sure.
You guys can find us on every pod streaming service. Obviously, you're listening to us now. But give us some good reviews and
5 stars, please.
Leave us some comments on there.
Yeah, definitely, like on Spotify and stuff like that. Leave us some comments. I know Spotify thinks like per episode comments.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely leave us some comments on our Apple Podcast. Leave us comments and stuff. We love hearing from all of our listeners out there, for sure. We do this because we love comic books and we're having fun doing it, but we also want to hear what you guys think about the subjects that we cover and your personal experiences with comics. What's your favorite comic book as a child, as an adult collector? What's your favorite comic book movies, toys, anything like that? Let us know. We'd love to. And if you don't want us to tell it on the air, we won't. We'll just read it to ourselves personally. But we'd love to share it with everybody out there because that's what we are. We're a geek community. That's what we're trying to build here, is a geek community with everybody that listens to our podcast and share all the love we have for toys and comics and games, all that stuff like that. So definitely come right into us for sure.
We appreciate it.
Hell yeah, we appreciate it.
All right, we originally had planned to cover Green Lantern next, but instead, with the release of the new Crow movie, we're going to go ahead and cover the original Crow novel, the graphic novel by James O'Barr. So we look forward to covering that in the next couple weeks. If you have any stories or questions about that particular comic, send them to us, geekswithbeardspod, P-O-D, @gmail.com.
All righty, and until next time. We're going to crawl back into our sewers. We're going to open up a box of pizza. Frozen or DiGiorno?
Oh, that's a good question. What's your favorite pizza?
My favorite pizza?
Yeah.
I like Little Caesars.
I do too.
As far as the company goes, as far as toppings, I don't care. Just no anchovies.
Are you a deep dish or a thin crust?
Both.
Both?
Preferably thin crust.
I love Little Caesars deep dish.
Do you like the stuffed crust?
I do.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, I like the garlic cheesy stuffed crust or whatever it is. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to crawl back into the sewer. We're going to open up a box of pizza, pop open a Pepsi, and we'll meet you guys next time on the Geeks with Beard podcast. Have a good one, guys.
See you.
Geeks with Beards. Geeks with Beards. Look who's here. Geeks with Beards. No need to fear, we're right here. We got beards, so listen clear. Geeks with beards, geeks with beards. Look who's here, geeks with beards. No need to fear, we're right here. I'm in your ear, so listen clear. No one else doing it like us. Also, we just might cuss, just cause. No, we ain't playing, and we're just saying, and we're making a podcast. It's cold.